year ago, I sat here and championed Theresa May. I believed she was good and steady, and I wanted people to give her a chance. Well, she's had that chance, and she's blown it. Big time. Her cabinet is in revolt. Her own MPs, never mind the nation, think she's incapable of delivering Brexit, and EU bosses see her as a joke that they can mock on Twitter. Theresa May is responsible for the crippling dysfunction in Downing Street. She's been told by the EU and her own MPs her Chequers plan and the no-deal backstop won't fly, yet still she refuses to change tack. And now comes the terrifying realisation that she has no backup plan. She's lost, and where once her stubbornness was seen as the weapon with which to deliver Brexit, it's now the roadblock stopping it. The truth is, Theresa May can't lead, and her lily-livered capitulation to the EU has destroyed her credibility and any chance of a good deal. She has to go. Britain needs a robust leader who has the guts to fight for a Brexit that will be good for us, not the arrogant, contemptuous clowns who run the EU. All scribbling there.
Well, let's go through this chronologically and to remind viewers that on one paper on Sunday, the Sunday Times, and this started language such as the killing zone, bringing your own noose, whatever it might be, knives and stabbing, appalling language, and I think it discredited anyone who was involved, as everyone agreed.
I agree.
But then we turn to what happened after that was published, and speaking on Sky News, Conservative MP Robert Halfon, speaking to Sky's Sophie Ridge on Sunday, said this.
Who is this magic king or queen over the water that is suddenly going to solve all the Conservative Party problems? And it doesn't matter if it's Theresa May or Mother Teresa, unless we get our values right, unless we are seen by the public that we're on their side, unless we sort out the Brexit thing and actually unify as a party. It doesn't matter who's leader. There's no one, as I can see, who's got some magic solution that is going to solve everything.
That's Robert Halfon speaking to Sky's Sophie Ridge on Sunday. And he's absolutely right. I get your frustration. And had we been saying this 12 months ago, I could possibly see what you're saying. But there are so many moving parts. We are almost, you could say, well, we are weeks away from one key deadline. We're days away from the December summit as well. I cannot see what changing an incredibly important moving part such as the PM will achieve. And just finally, before I let others come in, Bold, who to quote Robert there, who is this magical prince or princess who's going to come galloping over the hill to put it right? We're in a bad place. I don't dispute it. We're in a shocking place. It's too darned late.
So because we've got a PM who is no good, let's not replace. You know, let's just hear what Johnny Mercer said this week. He's the Plymouth MP for More View. He said, when all is said and done, politics is about people, the lives of real people. It's not a stage to prance around on in London, feigning strength and conviction. It requires courage, fight and conviction to meet the challenges before us. We need technocrats and managers, yes. We couldn't do it without them. But at this defining moment in our history, Britain cannot be led by them. And this is the problem. You know, the EU have humiliated us beyond belief, and she has let the EU control. No, let me just say, she's let the EU control Brexit negotiations from the start. We go for a meeting. They say, off you go, you've got to change your proposal. She goes back with watered-down proposals, it happens again. So what we're going to get with Theresa May is a fudge that serves no one. And someone, we need to change tack now before it's too late.
Can I just ask, back to Nick's point, so who then?
Okay.
I don't know, who out of the Tories
I agree, we're not
person?
spoiled with fantastic MPs, but, you know, they're saying that the position last week was to line up an interim Prime Minister to do Brexit. Well, the talk is of David Davis.
Who bailed out when things got tough.
You can all do that, but, you know, she's not doing any good.
His sole job was Brexit and he didn't achieve anything.
Because she took him away from it.
No,
she removed him from the Brexit negotiations, and her and Ollie Robbins are doing it together.
Carole,
wow.
You seem to me to have an amazing ability to jump on the wrong bandwagon at the wrong time.
Always.
So it's really going well, you think?
Well,
you think she's doing a great job?
I don't. No, I think the thing is a disaster, but I think she's our only chance.
Yes.
I mean,
For what?
I mean, my guess is what happened. I mean, the problem is going to be this: she'll get a deal, right?
Yes, that ties us to the
She'll
EU
get
for
a deal.
years.
She'll get a deal of some sort. We then have a choice. Or Parliament has a choice, will they accept her deal or not? My guess is...
I'd prefer the people had a choice.
My guess is they won't.
Yes.
So then the choice is between crashing out or something
See,
else.
everyone uses this term crashing out. You know, it's you know, the EU have to know that we're serious about walking away, and they never have been, because if someone I think there was reports this week in the paper where that Sajid Javid had said to her, "Have you ever actually threatened that we would walk away?" And the consensus was that she never had. The EU, they're not going to offer us a good deal. You know, she says the deal's 95% done. That's because she's capitulated on everything.
From the moment we had the referendum, we didn't have a negotiating position. That's the problem.
That's not true.
It is.
It's
From the
not
moment we said we're going to leave, and I, as a politician, have got to leave because this is what the people have told me. From that moment on, we had no negotiating position, and they could just sit and wait, and that's what they've done.
A strong leader, a leader who set the agenda.
Well, you said we had one a year ago.
I didn't say. Well, June, I just said a year ago I sat in this chair. I realised I've changed my mind because I wanted people to give her a chance, but I didn't realise how bad she was going to be. The truth is, after she lost the election, having got a 20% lead in the polls, the truth is we should have got shot of her then. When I think back to it now, because she has no political judgment.
Michelle?
Her critics say she doesn't listen to ministers. Michelle?
I do think we're in a pickle, to put it mildly.
Yeah.
Look at me.
That's a bit of an understatement.
Choosing my words carefully. I do think we're in a pickle, and I feel very, very disappointed with the way that everything's playing out at the moment. But I don't believe that the answer is yet more change, because if you went out into the street and you said to many people, just outline some of the key post holders of some of the key positions in the cabinet, they wouldn't know who holds the post. And one of the reasons is, you see it on telly, so-and-so's resigned, it's all over the newspapers, so-and-so stepped down. People on the street go, who? I didn't even know there was. So my point is, hold on, let me just make my point. My point is, there is so much change and rotation in politics at the moment, and there's so much... With this Brexit thing, people are using this to further their own personal agendas. They're backstabbing, they're deliberately trying to undermine. They're schlepping off to Brussels to have their own meetings when it's not their job to be doing so. You've had so much change of key personnel that what we actually need is some consistency and to get behind. You need to get behind the people leading.
Behind her.
Yeah, but then that should be your problem.
On Wednesday at the 1922 committee.
Let's talk. I just want to answer that. Let's talk about that.
Just to explain to the viewers, the 1922 committee is like the trade union for the Conservative Party. If so many people rebelled, the PM's in
So
trouble.
Nadine Dorries, who was at that meeting, tweeted out the other night that meeting was all staged. She said Chequers loyalists actually positioned themselves at various parts in the room and started banging the table to feign. Well, she wouldn't say that. To feign this kind of support.
Can I just bring in a video grab from Chris Grayling, and this is what he had to say in terms of those that are behind Mrs May.
Theresa May is very clearly the woman in charge of these negotiations. She should have the support of the party. I think she has the overwhelming support of the Conservative Party. And it's really important for the country, because although we've made really good progress, we've agreed 95% of the withdrawal agreement, we've made good progress on the negotiations about the future economic partnership, there are still some difficult issues.
And I just have to say, it's not often I agree with a Tory MP, it's not often I agree with Michelle, but it's happened twice in this debate. So something's going on. And also, I just want to pick up on what Nick said earlier. I think the way that some of these backbench Tories have treated Mrs May is absolutely disgusting. And this is what Nicola Sturgeon had to say. She said, this morning, I've seen quotes from Tories to the effect that the MP is entering the killing zone, faces assassination, should take her own noose to a meeting. Few disagree with her more than I do, but language like this debases politics. Get a grip, Tories.
Let me say, I totally and utterly agree with that. And what happened after that was MPs who were, you know, going to not agree with her at the 22 meeting, they rallied behind her out of sympathy.
They pulled their neck in. They had to.
But the thing is, although that shouldn't have happened, that's not the reason to unite behind her.
They might be able to have a vote. They haven't got enough to get rid of her. The ones that don't like her. But anyway, let's just look at the woman herself. Let's just look at what she says.
Before any decision, I ask, how do I best deliver the Brexit that the British people voted for? How do I best take back control of our money, borders and laws? How do I best protect jobs and make sure nothing gets in the way of our brilliant entrepreneurs and small businesses? And if doing those things means I get difficult days in Brussels, then so be it. The Brexit talks are not about my interests, they are about the national interest and the interests of the whole of the United Kingdom.
I've ended up admiring her for her ability to just take all the criticism, all the attacks. I personally would never vote for her, but that's not the point. I think she is the Tories' only chance at the moment.
Everything she said she wanted for Britain, Chequers does not deliver it. This, as one commentator said this week, there's not a problem that this woman can't make worse. And in recent weeks, she's angered Leavers and Remainers alike, because that Chequers deal does not give also Brexit. It does not give this country the Brexit that we voted for.